I'm Emma and we use a Klover Smart 120. The Smart 120 is a combination of a range cooker and a central heating boiler. The oven is surprisingly large. So this temperature is up to 200 degrees. And we've got a very basic but thick, good quality pan that we bought at the store. And that's a great pan for grilling, putting bacon on, for sausages, for any kind of meat or fish or what have you. We've got our usual cake or bread tin, Yorkshire puddings in there, and a really great roasting tin. Again, they're all from the supermarket, so it's all a completely normal size. So last Christmas dinner we had a goose in the oven and our roast potatoes underneath and actually over the top of the goose. We had our steaming pudding on one side, and then on the hot plate we could put on the vegetables to start. I think we had roast parsnips and roast potatoes in the oven, and obviously you've got to make the gravy, so the gravy can go on that section. And then once you've finished with your hot plate, you can of course close that one down. And what we found is these do get warm on top. They're not really hot yet, but they do get warm on top, so that's a great place to heat the plates through and to keep vegetables warm as well when they've already cooked. So everything fits in perfectly for a huge meal or just a tiny meal like frying some eggs. We've got heaps of space. So this is still on setting 1, but because our temperature's up and we've heated the top hob, it's lovely and hot, perfect temperature. This is obviously the sort of simmer side. So once you've heated up the pan, on there you can then put a whole Sunday dinner's worth of pans on. There is a steep learning curve when you first start to use it, but once you've got used to it, things are very easy. We can't use a wok. There's one thing we can't do, is we can't actually do stir fry in a wok. So our solution is quite obviously a paella pan. And that's fantastic because then you're really using a lot of the space and you've got a great flat area. Any pan that you want to use has to have a completely flat bottom. Otherwise it won't get hot enough. And the thicker the pan base, the better the distribution of heat throughout the pan, so the easier it is to cook with them. The griddle's used for drop scones, Welsh cakes, pancakes, American pancakes, that kind of thing. The Klover comes with one tray and a sort of baffle pan, and we can actually put it higher up the oven and have something which will actually help concentrate the heat right at the top for something like grilling. One of my favourite things, I think, about the Smart 120 at the moment is something I've just discovered, which is you can get your dough, your bread dough, ready in the evening and cover it over lightly with some foil, put it in the oven as it's cooled down, so down to about 80, 50 degrees, leave it in the oven overnight to prove. The Klover comes on automatically in the morning, and once it's heated up to full temperature, your loaf's cooked. So you've got fresh bread in the morning, ready to go. So last night we had roast vegetables in my lovely blue and white pan. We had goose in the oven, no problem. And first year we were here, we had turkey. We do chicken quite often. And also casseroles. They're really very good on this. I use a casserole pan that can go into the oven, but also starts off on the stove top. And basically you just start off your meat and vegetables and add in the stock. And by that point you can then turn the Klover off and put this straight into the oven. And it will cook throughout the day then on a very low temperature once the oven cools down. And then obviously give it a good spurt of boiling heat before you eat it. I would certainly recommend it. And in fact, I have recommended it to many of my friends. I think once people see this, they realise that this is such a great combination of heating the water and cooking and being sustainable at the same time. So absolutely wonderful.